Okay. On the area in the broadcast. There's 3 people on there. I wonder if they can hear us though. How you see people? Oh. Oh, this is cool. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say too much because I don't know if they can hear us. Mm-hmm. That's something. Like, she laughing. Yes. Yep, we can hear that. But we still can't hear you.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
We're in here.
Now I need the applause again.
Yes.
Go, Nikole.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. There's a lot of buttons that I'm learning. This is great.
Awesome.
I've got a
We can hear
little
you.
feedback, but I can deal with that. Thank you for your patience. All right. Yes. Okay. Sean is watching. Welcome.
Okay.
Let me, oh my gosh, this is a lot of technology for me, but we're almost at 8:30. Okay, let me see. So that's good. Y'all can hear me, right? My girls?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let me just make sure the world can see us all. Fabulous. So now we are, can you guys see the split screen that it's us?
We can see you and
Jess
we can
and
see
Kristen?
in like a small, like in another pane.
I think it went out again.
Okay, cool. If you are joining us, we are still getting set up. Welcome to Ignite at Night. It is my first time using YouTube Live and a little bit of technology, so thank you for your patience. I'm just going to check the stream myself. Let's see. Oh, yep. Okay, fab. Okay, ladies, so because we are split screen, you guys are going to have to get just a little bit closer together so that everybody can see your beautiful faces. So you might have to scoot back so that everybody can see both of your faces. Because right now I can just see Kristen. I can't really see Jess as much.
Oh, let me move over.
Okay, there you go. Well, now... Okay. No. There we go. There we go. Yes. Yes. And then if you want to just kind of lean in a little bit when you talk, lean in toward each other. There you go.
Okay.
There we go. Beautiful. I love this. Okay, we're going to get started in 2 seconds. I'm going to do that again. Y'all can hear that? Woo! Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It's 8:30 on the East Coast, and we are starting the very first Ignite at Night live. I am so thrilled to have these amazing ladies with me. I'm gonna go ahead and get my notes ready because that's the last thing I need actually before we get this party started. But ladies, how are you guys feeling tonight?
Good. Feeling excited. Feeling good. I'm glad we're here and everything worked out. We made it.
Right, because we were online for about 15 minutes without any sound. And then at game time, here we are, right?
In the clutch.
How are you guys feeling about the holiday? You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about tomorrow.
Yeah. Big plans?
Well, I'm hosting, so
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I am too in this. I just came from just before here. I came from the store. My plan was to go like at the last minute, hoping that there would be nobody in there. So I was able to get in and get out and get a couple of things. So I was feeling good about that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm being spoiled because I'm at my mom's house. So I haven't had to do a lot. And then I also kind of like snuck out of any responsibilities. My sister was like, "What are you making?" I'm like, "Nothing."
That's okay.
So that's how my holiday is going. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got my notes up. I think I have everything I need for us to get started. If you are watching live, we would love to hear from you in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from. And welcome. Welcome. This is Ignite at Night Live. My name is Nike Olabisi-Green, and I'm the creator and chief movement leader at NOLA Movement. At NOLA Movement, we believe that when women are well from the inside out, we can change the world. And I serve that big mission through movement, mindset, and community. So I am a life coach. I create workshops, retreats, and host conversations like this and the Ignite Ladies Book Club for women to find that wellness. And so this Ignite at Night series is very much a recap, a review of all of the books that we've reviewed this year in the Ignite Ladies Book Club. And our first book is What Happened to You by Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey. This was such a powerful read, and I'm so thrilled to have these amazing ladies with me to have a conversation about this book and about how we can practice mental health and wellness and care for ourselves during the holidays. So I'm going to give a brief introduction of these amazing ladies. I'm going to check. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you guys getting any feedback, or is the stream okay for y'all?
It's okay. Yeah.
It's good? Okay.
Yep.
Great. Okay, beautiful. And again, if you're joining us, drop some hearts in the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from, letting us why you jumped on today. If you visited the book club here in Cleveland, if it's your first time, let us know in the chat. Okay. All right. So these amazing ladies that I have with me, I want to start by introducing Jessica. Wave at us, Jessica. So Jessica is a licensed independent social worker by licensure and therapist by practice. She has over 10 years of experience in the mental health field. She has worked in various settings in the mental health field, including emergency room, social work, case management, juvenile justice, and now private practice. She's the co-owner of New Heights Counseling Center with Kristen Morris, where they provide therapeutic services. Jessica has always had a heart for women and passion to help them grow and reach their full potential. Hey, Jessica. Hey, girl. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
I'm so thrilled. And I want to introduce her partner in crime, Miss Kristen Morris. Wave at us, Kristen. Let them know you're in the house. A native of Cleveland, Ohio, Kristen is a clinical social worker in Cleveland, Ohio. She has a heart and an ear for serving the community with a specific focus on supporting and elevating women of color. Kristen is a two-time graduate of the Ohio State University, where she earned a bachelor's. Oh, I know. They've taught me how to pronounce it, y'all. A bachelor's of arts in African American studies from 2009, and that was followed by a master's of social work concentrated in mental health and substance abuse in 2016. Kristen has real life experience in the areas of work-life balance and stress management, as she completed both degrees while working full-time and raising a young family. Kristen now uses that personal experience to encourage and coach women of all ages to push through adversity, pursue their passion, and live on purpose. Kristen's guiding quote is from one of her favorites, Dr. Maya Angelou, which reads, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." That's so good, and such a good segue into our conversation for tonight. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for saying yes. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. I just read your beautiful bios, but tell us about yourselves and what resonated with you from this first book from the Ignite Ladies Book Club that we read together.
So I'm Jessica, as you mentioned. I'm a licensed independent social worker. I currently work in the emergency room. Me and Kristen started New Heights during the pandemic, so we like to say this is our pandemic baby. Yeah. We've been friends since high school, 20-something years. So, we partnered in this practice. This has been a dream of ours. So we finally were able to do it during the pandemic. I'm happily married to my husband, Austin. I love mental health. I love the field. I've worked in various different areas of the field. But my favorite is private practice. So I'm excited to see our practice grow and connect with different people and just help people. I grew up in Cleveland, so I have a heart for Cleveland. I have a heart for women, African-American women. And I just want to see them grow, be healthy, and just love themselves. What resonated with me in the book, and I have my notes here because I got a lot going on. So I got my notes here, Nikole.
Me too.
So I think just the book encouraged me to really just kind of change my thought process. Like, we're taught about trauma in school, but this book went deeper than we ever could go in school. So it really had me think about, not like how can I put it? Just think about what happened to you, not what is wrong with you. So, really working to reframe my thoughts as it comes to my clients, my friends, my relationships. And another thing that resonated with me is just the misunderstanding of trauma, and the effect that has on education, juvenile justice. A lot of kids are dealing with, traumatic experiences, and they're getting in trouble for school, but that's just their response to trauma. So, they talked a lot about that, Dr. Perry and Oprah. So that was something that really sat well with me and resonated with me because I have been in the school system. I've advocated for children before. So I see that firsthand, even in the emergency room setting, people, how they come in, the drug use, the everything, their behaviors. And a lot of it is a response to trauma. So that's what resonated with me. So,
yeah, that's good to piggyback off of that, even in that same space about what resonated. And I'll share some more about myself. I think one of the things that was important for me is how we can use this in practice. So like I worked in some other settings and like residential and in the ER and doing triage and some other spaces. And so in school, they give us the framework for how we do things. And so this is like actual kind of walking out with people what is happening when you experience these events, right? So we talk to people and it's like, even some clients are asking like, what is wrong with me? Yeah. Right. Like what is, what is wrong? And it's like, not what is wrong with you, is what happened to you. And so I think one of the takeaways for me was some of the like diagrams and the figures that really kind of map out, okay, this is what your brain looks like that old commercial, like this is what your brain looks like on whatever. So really kind of walking through, look, this is what happens when you are hyper aroused. This is what happens when you are terrorized. This is what happens when you're calm. So being able to use that in practice with people, and you'll also be able to just like use it in our everyday lives,
relationships,
and how we navigate, how we support one another, how we understand one another. It's been really impactful.
Yeah. Yeah, ladies, I agree. Just to piggyback what both of you said, right? Because I work as a coach, so I don't have the background of, the education and the schooling as far as how our brain develops. And so for me, like, it was so beautiful to read how, in what felt like layman's terms, right? How our brain
Mhm.
develops and
Yeah.
how the emotional part of our brain is developed, and the part of our brain that controls just the things that we don't think about, like the breathing, the emotions, right? And so when stuff happens, how, like, if that is the part of our brain is responding, literally,
Mhm.
like the higher thinking, like you're not thinking, like you're
Yeah.
literally not processing in the way that you would process when you're calm, or if you're feeling regulated. You're literally not accessing that part of your brain. So when you
That's
are experiencing that fight or flight, or that for us, for different, for
On.
different people, it settles in the body differently. I know how it feels for me when I'm feeling like anxious. I just had
Yeah.
a situation that I reflected on where I was thinking like, oh, that was me in like freeze, and like
Mhm.
reflecting back, like thinking what happened, and thinking around like, oh, I started behaving this way, and I wasn't tapping into like the part of my brain that would allow me to like make decisions. And that book kind of gave me the language and the understanding of like, yeah, that is literally how your brain works. And so it was really beautiful for me as a coach to be able to recognize that for myself, and then to be able
Mhm.
to offer this book as a tool for the women that I work with, and what I've learned from this book as well. Like, hey, like, remember, there's some things that you can do to help regulate yourself before you try and solve a problem, right? Go for a walk, move your body, because that's going to
Mhm.
help to regulate you, right? Go into a breathing practice or a meditation practice. That's going to help regulate you instead of trying to plow through the issue, because you literally are not able to think and
Mhm.
process. And so, like,
yeah.
reading that for me was like, whoosh.
That's good. And you know what, Nikole, just to jump on that too, I think just we think about like social media and pop
Mhm.
culture, like the norm is 10.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody is like kind of glamorizing this, like turn all the way up, like go ham and whatever kind of
Yes.
experience. And so, people internalize that and then live that out in their
Yeah.
day to day lives. And so, it
Yeah,
also really gives some validity to like, listen, this is some of the value in just taking a
And
pause.
taking a moment.
Right. This is
Mhm.
what you can do when you're calm, when you're regulated, when
Yeah.
you are just, you can
yes,
think, you can
Yeah.
make better
yes,
decisions.
Yeah. And I like what you're doing tomorrow with the meditation. Before the day, the Thanksgiving day gets
That's right.
started, just to kind of take a moment, just to kind of chill, relax, center
mhm,
yourself, before the hustle and bustle of the day, before you start interacting with people, family,
yes.
friends, all that. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. This book for me was so beautiful, really for the reasons that I said, but the tools of breath work and then movement to regulate,
Yeah.
they're so powerful. They're so powerful. So, ladies, I would love to ask you about what has been coming up for y'all, as I think we're in a time where the culture around mental health is shifting. I think
Mhm.
folks are ready to really break the stigma. And so, what are you guys seeing in your practice? People may be coming in for the first time, but what are some of the conversations that you guys are having, and what you're seeing around some of the stigma being broken around mental health?
One thing we see is a lot of grief. People
Mhm.
are grieving the loss of just like social interaction. They're grieving the loss of just like that connection. They're grieving the loss of like in person events still. A lot of churches are still virtual. A lot of therapy is still
Yeah.
virtual. So,
Mm-hmm.
people are just really grieving that social interaction. A lot of jobs didn't go back in person. People are working from home. So people are just like grieving the loss of like their daily routine, what they known to be like their life. So we see a lot of that, a lot of anxiety.
Yep. So anxiety, this even stemming with grief, right? People are taking all kinds of this and then trying to figure out, okay, what do I do now? So sometimes people are anxious and worried, sick, right? Just not really knowing what to do, and depressed, getting just kind of overcome with the circumstances of life and, just how things are going. One of the things I think that's encouraging though, and me and Jess talk about this all the time, we're seeing a lot of younger clients or younger potential clients. So that's encouraging to know that, okay, so parents are seeking support for their kids earlier, listening to them and trying to get them some support to be able to navigate and manage, things that are going on. The pandemic is that wasn't normal, right? Like that's not something that
absolutely
is on the figuring out, okay, what do I do now? What does my life look like now? People are reaching out for the first time and reaching out for their kids.
Yeah, and I think the jobs and the companies are stepping it up too. We get a lot of EAP people are using their employee workplace services, so they're covered for free, so a lot of people are reaching out for that. So I think that's good too.
That's a good one. It definitely brings the a focus back on mental health.
For sure.
And so what would you guys say, because I feel like a lot of times, and what I'm experiencing is, and my husband as well, folks will come up to us and share their life, share a situation, a scenario, and they are still not actively seeking ways to connect with a therapist themselves or take that next step for professional support. Because I feel like the stigma is, folks, the first step that I feel like I'm saying, people are like, yes, I agree, mental health is what we need, but that's for other folks. It's not actually for me. And I actually believe that, especially if you're a person of color in this country, if you're part of a marginalized community, women, LGBTQ, Black, brown, I feel like you get to have a therapist, period. Just for like living and breathing in this country, like we all need some professional support. And I think the first step of the stigma is like, no, like mental health is not a thing. The next step that I feel like most people are at is like, yes, mental health is a thing, but it's not for me. It's for other folks. What would you say to someone who is going through a season of their life? Maybe they're grieving a loss. Maybe they are grieving a big shift in their life and they don't actually feel like they need a therapist yet. That's still not something that they are interested in taking the step in. Because again, I feel like I speak with so many people and they will share a burden, a grief, a loss. I'll ask them, well, have you thought about seeing a therapist? And they're like, oh, no. But they're all for mental health. Right. So what do you feel like, how do we bridge that gap? And what would you say to someone, or even offer to me as advice? Like, how do you encourage someone to say yes to therapy or say yes to a professional?
So I would say they can reach out to any mental health company. New Heights is accepting new clients. But, we offer free 15-minute consultations where, on the phone or virtually. I think you do virtually. They can get on with one of us and just kind of tell us their symptoms, what they're dealing with. And we can, tell them basically that you need therapy or that you need some support. If we can't assist them here, because maybe it's something that they need a little bit more extensive, or they would benefit from EMDR or something like that, then we will refer them out. So I think just reaching out and just having a conversation is the first step.
Jess is really good about like that catchment and catching people when they are kind of in their thought process, and being proactive action now. So I think that's a good step. I think, for people who are not like licensed professionals and have people that are like reaching out and kind of sharing their experiences. Me and Jess were talking about this earlier too, setting boundaries, right? So saying like, these are the things that you can't talk to me about. But these are the things that I can't help you with.
Exactly.
Right. So you're going to have to talk, you're going to have to talk to somebody else. And so, not to isolate a person, but then it's like, okay, well, maybe I do need to talk to a professional. Piece too that's helpful in conversation about therapy. Therapy is not just for problems, right? So it's also maintenance and wellness, right? It's mental health. So staying healthy, just like, you don't only go to the gym if you are sick or, in poor health or out of shape. People go to the gym to maintain. So having a therapist is also a space where you can maintain your mental health and wellness.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for offering that, because I think we are used to thinking about our physical health as something that we maintain, right? You don't wait until your physical health is all sideways, right? Some folks do, but that's probably not ideal, right? But thinking about our mental health as something that we get to sustain, we don't have to wait until there's an emergency. So we don't have to wait until there's grief or loss or instability or anxiety that we can't control, right? Or we don't have tools for. We can actually step into mental health just to be in the gym, the mental health gym. I love that. I love that. And I appreciate the boundaries, because I think it's interesting as a coach. I'm very clear on my boundaries. Like, I tell folks, look, I am a coach. I get to be a part of your wellness team, and your wellness team gets to include a coach, a therapist, a doctor, right? All these different people, a personal trainer, a Reiki person, all these people that support your overall wellness. But I'm not a therapist. And so when we broach things that go into that space, I let folks know. But I think in my personal life, it's interesting, because I'll have folks that will share. And it's like, I think in the same way that I do when I'm in my coaching space and with that hat on, I think the boundary, I get to rethink that. Like, oh, this is a conversation for a therapist. And I love you. And I don't think I can support you the way that you're looking for me to support you.
Exactly.
Yeah, here's what I can do.
Yeah. We can give you some names and some supports. And we've had to do that before.
Yeah.
When you are a mental health professional, people do tend to kind of dump on you, I would say, about everything. Yeah, so we have to do a lot of boundary setting as mental health professionals too.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's hard, right? Especially when you have you got some of the skills, you got some of the resources, you got some access, and so you want to fix and help. But just, setting a good example of how you set boundaries and take care of yourself. We have to say, okay, this part isn't for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I love that. One of the books that we read, as you ladies know, because y'all rolled for the book club this year, is Set Boundaries, Find Peace. And so the power of setting boundaries, oh my gosh, that's a whole nother conversation that I'll get into when we get into that book, but so important, so powerful. It really is, I think, and I said this at the book club, of all the books that we read this year, if I had to recommend one book, that would be the book I would recommend, because I feel like it's so foundational, and to find wellness in all the other spaces, right? In the energetic space and spiritual space that we spoke about, mental health, getting your finances together, all the things in relationships. When you learn how to set boundaries, it will change your life. It will change your life. And so thank you for calling that out, because y'all just called out a space where I get to set a boundary. And I think it's such a good segue as we talk about the holidays. So as we move into the holidays, this time of year, where there's so much energy, there's so much happening. And I really wanted to have this conversation around the holidays, because I think that the assumption is everyone is happy and
Mm-hmm.
that the holidays are supposed to be this like mega joyful time. But I think the truth is that everybody isn't always happy around the holidays. I think that there is a space to grieve and be present with ourselves around the holidays. So I would just love to hear you ladies share what are some tips that you are offering for folks to navigate and take care of our mental health during this holiday season?
I would definitely say setting boundaries, as we mentioned, but setting them with your money,
Yeah.
not overspending, not overextending yourself. I would say I was talking earlier to Kristen. I said, go where the love is,
Yeah.
spend time with family and
Mm,
friends who are good for you, like good for your soul, good for your spirit. They're supportive, loving, encouraging.
Yeah.
So I would say, just be mindful of the places you go and what you do, and just do things that are good for you, that uplift you and make you happy. That
Yeah.
would be what I would say.
Yeah. And I think even like a continuation of that is what those things that have helped you be well
Yeah.
throughout the year
Yeah.
and all the other times, continue doing those
Mm-hmm.
things. Right.
mm,
So for some people that may look like medication management,
Mm-hmm.
right? Continue taking your medications. For some people that looks
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yep, going to
Mm-hmm.
the gym, keep going doing your workouts. So those things that you do to take care of yourself throughout the year that have helped you be well, continue doing them.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get distracted with the holidays and schedules kind of
So,
get out of sorts, and there's
Yep.
time off for work.
mm-hmm.
Things just kind of get out of sorts. So as best as you can to incorporate those things that help you be well throughout the year, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for people who are particularly struggling for, whatever host of reasons, reach out for that extra therapy appointment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Connect with your friends or, get around those people that just said, go where the love is. Let people know
Mm,
that you're having a hard time or, that something is difficult for you for a reason to, create space for people to kind of shower you with love and take care of you.
Mm-hmm. And I think just be open to change. Like, we don't
Mm-hmm.
have to stick to this traditional holiday
Yes.
plan.
yes.
Like, you could go to Cancun or something. I'm a traveler. So, you can go and travel. You and a group of friends can go and travel. We don't have to stick to this
Yeah.
same old holiday stuff. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what
Yeah.
you like to do, but be open to different things.
Yeah.
You can volunteer on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, travel. It's just different things that you can stay in bed if you want, if
Mm-hmm.
you need that
Yes.
exercise. So just be open to, different things.
Yeah.
That's what I would say too.
Yeah, that's good. Honor yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For sure.
I love that, ladies. That is exactly what really that last point that you mentioned is what I have been offering. The first thing is to be intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so planning, so right, it's the night before Thanksgiving. And so even tonight, taking 10 minutes and saying, how do I want to feel tomorrow? What
Mm-hmm.
are the spaces that I want to be a part of? What are the spaces that I want to not be a part of? What
Mm-hmm.
are like what brings me joy? And honoring
Exactly.
that and really
Yes.
honoring that. You all know I am huge on energizing spaces. And so making sure, and I love that, Jess, follow where the love is, right? Where's the love at? Go there. And it might not be with family,
Mm-hmm.
right?
For
It
sure.
might be a part of a faith community. It might be with a Friendsgiving, but honoring that and not feeling like you have to follow the traditions that maybe no longer serve you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Creating your
Yes.
own traditions, following that joy. So, absolutely, I love that. The other thing that I've been offering is so that planning and that reflection time, making sure that you have some quiet time, right? Which is
Yeah.
why I'm doing the meditation tomorrow, because I feel like there's something so powerful about when there's all this energy, when you're going to be around so many people, and maybe that's the extrovert introvert that is me, like making sure that the introvert is honored
Yeah.
before the extrovert is like out of the box. So, right, making sure that you've checked in with yourself, you've checked in with your intentions. And then you show up where the love is at.
Sure.
That's awesome. Nikole, I just want to kind of piggyback off of something that you said earlier too about being planful. So this is something that's come up in sessions this week too. Really having an idea about what your limits are going to be, continuing with setting boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who, choose to maybe go visit family or go do whatever, know what your stopping point is going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
With conversation, with food, with alcohol, with whatever that can be problematic, where you're going to stop.
And stick to it. Stick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Knowing your capacity, right? What's your capacity? And if that means, and this is something I've learned about myself, y'all, sometimes, especially when I'm in a space with a lot of folks and it's time for me to leave and I know that, instead of like feeling obligated to take that lap around and say goodbye to everybody, that's going to be another 60 minutes. Just like, all right, everybody, get my coat, get my things together. Oh, you're leaving? Yup. Love and light, everybody. Or, whatever the blanket exit phrase is, but just make your exit, right?
Yeah.
If you're staying with a lot of family, which I am right now, I literally was like, okay, everybody, I'm just going to rest for a little bit. I'm just going to rest. And I just excused myself this afternoon and came to my space and created some quiet and put my earbuds on, got on my laptop and just had some time with myself.
Yes.
But knowing our capacity.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Love, love, love. So ladies, tell us, how are you taking care of yourself this holiday season? So again, as practitioners, y'all are pouring into other folks' cups. But what's maybe one or two ways that you're taking care of yourself, whether it's taking time off or unplugging from social media or whatever it is? How are you taking care of yourself during this holiday season?
Well, we took the whole week off.
Yeah.
New Heights has been out of the office all week. Okay, we celebrated my birthday on Monday, so we are just off. It was just perfect timing for us to be out of the office. I didn't go to the ER today. I just didn't. So just really self-care, just knowing that I needed a day, and I took that day, and I took it.
I love it.
That's PTO, right?
Yes,
using your time
PTO.
off. So using that time off to take care of yourself and just to really, I think you hit those, Nikole, taking time off and unplugging, right? So we got our messages set, right, for the automatic out of office replies, right? We're not checking emails, responding to those kind of things until Monday. So that's definitely important. And I think too, especially around the holidays, and just at different points in time too, but especially with the holidays, for me, I like to do little kind of, some of it's kind of corny, but stuff that's like your thing, do it. So if that's listening to Christmas music and driving around looking at Christmas lights,
tree, whatever you want to do.
Do those things too. So those are our things for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Taking time off, doing those little things that are like, your things, and enjoying your time with your family, and really kind of set boundaries with work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that, because we live in a country where, and I don't know the statistic exactly, but I know it's way over 50%, maybe 60, 70, maybe closer to 80% of folks don't use their PTO time. Like, they don't use it.
And it's yours. Earned it. Just gonna give it back to
or you negotiated for it. Regardless, it's yours. You're getting paid, and there's this pressure to show up.
It's so unhealthy. This is, and it's, I have my own personal views about this, but there's such an unhealthy relationship with productivity.
Yes.
Like having to be on, having to do something, having to demonstrate an outcome for your time. It's like, okay, doing nothing is doing something.
Yes.
Recuperating, like rest, restoration, that's something. Your body is doing something.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Yeah,
you are tapping into my 2023 book club list. Right now, I'm reading Rest is Resistance by Trisha Hershey.
Awesome.
Okay.
Excellent. And she talks about how we are so used to this culture where our production has been so tied to our worth that we don't know how to show up and just
Yeah.
rest and
Yeah.
recognize that as honorable and recognize that as enough. And that is a part of the colonization, that is a part of the capitalism, that is a part of what is now baked into who we are as people. And so, of
Yeah.
course, we're not using our PTO, right? So, this is something that I am exploring deeply. What does it mean to really rest? I consider myself really blessed because I grew up in a home where at a very young age, my mom would literally be would come into our bedrooms, and if we were like not feeling well, even if we were pretending, she would be like, okay, well, I have to go to work. You're just taking a mental health day, right? And
Yes.
so I got that language as a young person. And so even though I grew up in this country and I'm very much undoing my relationship with production, producing, having to work, even going from a corporate job, which where I was 9 to 5, to an entrepreneur where I make my own hours. So I really had to undo the like, well, I don't have to be producing by 8 o'clock. Like there's no one that I have to check in with, right? Even as someone that had the language, I'm still examining my relationship with rest,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's
So
resistance
I
and it's
do.
power.
I feel that.
It's
Yeah.
sustainable. That's how you sustain. We can't keep going on nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm reading our comment. Yeah, we have PTO. Yep, mental health days. We have to
For
use
sure.
those days, y'all, so that we don't burn out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, ladies, we're gonna wrap it up. It's the night before Thanksgiving. I'm so honored that you guys joined. If anyone is watching live, let me know any questions. I'm rounding the final lap with the ladies. So if you have any questions, I can see your chat live. And so, ladies, I would love for you to tell us about your space, about New Heights Counseling, about who you serve, about how people can find you, and really what's lighting you guys up at work right now.
Awesome. Sure. So, okay. So we are, like just said, New Heights Counseling Center. We've been open since October 2020. So we are, for a year at that time, we could not get in our building. So we are here. We couldn't get in our space. So we are here. We are set up. We're seeing people virtually and in person. Right. So whatever your comfort is, we respect that. Right. So we will be glad to see you here with us in person. We'd be glad to see you virtually. Our physical location is 14100 Cedar Road. Our landmark is the Target on Warrensville and Cedar. So super easy. Parking is great. You can call us.
216.
Yes.
400.
Go ahead, drop the numbers. Yup.
665. Yes. And then you could reach us at info@newheightscounselingohio.com. And on our website, there is a little inquiry where you can just tell us a little bit about yourself and leave your information, and we'll get back to you. We are hiring too. Let me just throw that in there. If there are any licensed professionals that are listening or connected to Nikole, we would love to have a chat about seeing clients and, all of that good stuff. So we are hiring.
Yes, looking for some people who are, as far as our mission, connected to community, right? So we are about showing up as your full self every day and connecting with the community around you. So it's important to us to support women, to support women of color, to support people who are underserved just in general. And so being, if that's part of your mission, and you want to be yourself, right? And support people who, meet people where they are, then we would love to have you be a part of our team. So we are also, you can find us on Instagram at New Heights Counseling _ Cleveland, CLE, New Heights, counseling _CLE as well. And we can take an inquiry there too. So if you want to send us a message and ask us something maybe general, we'd be glad to respond to you either on there or via email.
Yes.
Beautiful. And I will drop all of that information in the notes for this live so that anyone that's watching the replay reach out to this amazing team. And I just want to make sure I circle back. You guys serve men and women. Are there any populations that you focus on, whether it's veterans or the LGBTQ community or young folks, or do you guys serve everybody? I just want to make sure that if people are listening, if there's something specific that they are dealing with, or if they're part of a marginalized community, they know that they can come to you.
Yeah, thank you for asking, Anita. So we do serve everybody. We serve men, women, whatever community you are a part of. We can find if we are not one, whatever community you're a part of, we will support you in the best way we can. And so that may look like being your therapist, or that may look like finding a person that's a good fit for you. Right. So if we are not the best fit for you, we're committed to therapy in general. Right. So if that means referring you out to a specialist for a specific type of therapy or a specific issue that maybe we don't specialize in, then we'll be glad to do that. So anxiety, depression, trauma, stress, work-life balance. Those are the things that we focus on primarily with women. And everybody is welcome.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Ladies, thank you so much for saying yes. I'm learning my technology. I'm going to drop some applause for y'all real quick. I am truly honored. Y'all have really shown up for the NOLA movement community and the book club series. It's been a joy to have you this year, just at every book club. And so I'm so glad that we got to chat tonight, and hope that we can really continue this conversation to continue to bring more folks into the fold of mental health and wellness.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you
for having us, Nikole.
Yes. And thank you for doing it.
Yes, and thank you for your mission, your vision, all that. You are always such a blessing. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. If you are joining, my name is Nike Olabisi-Green, and I'm the creator and chief movement leader at NOLA Movement. I believe that when women are well from the inside out, that we can change the world. And I serve that big mission by creating high energy events, workshops, retreats for women to find wellness. I work as a life coach. I support busy, high achieving small business owners to go from chaos to clarity. So if I can serve you, please don't hesitate to reach out. We will be here again next week. I'll have a couple more guests with me, and we will be talking about believing, the 30-year journey to end gender violence. And that book is by Anita Hill. We're revisiting all of our books from this year's book club. And so if you missed the book club and want a little bit of the conversation, or if you just want to connect with NOLA Movement, keep coming back. We're finishing the year strong right here on YouTube Live. I can't wait. I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Thank you.
Everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, let's see.